Good morning, Copers. Hello, fam. Good morning. How are you guys? Man, is it the right mic this time? I forgot to check again. Usually you don't have to continuously reset it. Yeah, it looks like it's okay now. Starting to get things a little bit back to normal. Uh how are you guys doing? It is Led Zeppelin week. No, we will not be playing Stairway to Heaven. So just be advised, we will not be playing Stairway to Heaven this week, but it is we will be playing Led Zeppelin all week long. Please forgive me. I don't feel great. I don't feel that good. I think I'm kind of upset about the Twitter situation. Finally got an email back from them yesterday that was like, yeah, we're not, we can't help you. So I'm gonna get the lawyer on the case today, but it means that's gonna take like another like 3 weeks before I get my Twitter back, and it just feels like I'm not myself. Like I'm a empty shell without my Twitter account. Like my whole routine, the way I operate. I'm handicapped. It's like my arm got cut off. But anyway, hopefully we get it resolved eventually. I'm just annoyed. I was hoping like the email was just going to be like, yeah, here's what to do, and it wouldn't take so long. But it is what it is. Here we go. Their system is so stupid. It's such a the fact. It's like people who have big Twitter accounts all know now that you have to like use a lawyer to get your account back if you have a problem. It's like this is like common knowledge amongst people who have big. Is like, oh, you lost access to your Twitter. Hire a lawyer, pay them $1,000 to mail a letter, and then you'll get it back. It's like that. What a stupid system. If Twitter wants to do that, they should just charge you. They should just cut out the middleman. Just have a like a premium support service where it's like you can use our shitty automated service that doesn't work for anyone ever, or you can pay like $500 and get real help from a real person. It's like just do that, Twitter. Cut out the middleman. Make some extra money. Anyway, we did the pagan space. I don't think it's right to call them pagans. Like maybe that full Verity guy would be the exception, but they're really just these people are really just atheists who hate Christianity. They're really 2010 atheist plus YouTubers, basically indistinguishable from TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist, but I did it, man. I went and talked to them. I was in there for 4 hours. I didn't talk much. Corey did most of the talking. But that's because it was mostly like a hyper autistic. Volume's a little low. I banned him forever. I gave that guy a permanent ban. I thought about rage quitting and ending the show because I'm just not in the mood. And then I said, get this guy out of my life forever. So, I'm, you know what? I'm minimizing the chat. I am not looking at the chat. Okay. Chat is out of my sight. Fuck you guys. Mods are sleeping. Go wild. No one cares. No one's even watching. Shout into the abyss. You fucking freaks. And anyway, it was just like this autistic atheism, Oh, so you really think two animals went 2 by 2 onto the ark? It was like 4 hours of that. And so I just let Corey deal with it because he's much better than I will ever be at dealing with that kind of stuff. And I mean, look, in all fairness, those guys are like smart and very knowledgeable on the topics. a lot more knowledgeable, most of them, than me. Like I think like people like HT and big tech are maybe like more on my level of laymanism. But people like Adam Green's obviously done a lot of research, and basically like that was just like a 4 hour, or it was more than 4 hours. I was only there for 4 hours, but it was like a very much extended version of the Corey Adam Green debate, but with way more like tangents and interruptions and spurging. Not like spurging like people were getting angry, but just like nobody could stay on topic for more than 5 seconds, whatever you call that. So really, like if you didn't watch it, and you've watched the Adam Green Corey Mahler debate on my channel, then don't watch it. You're not missing anything. It's like a 6 hour shittier version of that debate, which is wasn't very interesting to me, although I do enjoy watching Corey operate, but a lot of it was just a rehash. A lot of it was just a repeat of stuff I've already heard before. But like this is what they do, is they just run these scripts. I was thinking it reminded me of debating Ask Yourself about veganism way back in the day. For any of you old heads who were around back in the day, I used to like debate this guy Ask Yourself about veganism. I must have done like 6 debates with him, and the first 3 were just about veganism. And it was the same kind of thing. Like he's a really smart guy, but he just has a script that he runs. And when you try to ask him questions that would bring him off the script, he just pulls you right back. That Gnostic informant guy was like that. That guy I found really annoying personally. But like I said, very knowledgeable, very well read, knows a lot more about the history and some of the stuff than I do. But just like is just like running a script. Like it's like talking to an NPC. It's like talking to an NPC that or like a chat bot that is really good on this one topic, but when you try to like get them off it, it's almost like they can't. It's almost like they don't have free will. You know what I mean? I am going to make a video. I'm not going to talk about this too long because I am going to make a video and like an actual edited video where I pull some of the clips and make some of the points. And I think it's going to be pretty good. I think it's going to be a decent video. I think it's going to be a fun video. I'm going to kind of put the screws to them a little bit because I'm pissed off that they subjected me to that for so long and they barely talked to me at all, barely asked me anything. So I'm going to go after some of the stupider things that they said, especially that one guy, that Amalek guy. This is the guy who called me an ugly, stupid retard because I said if Christianity makes white people racially
John
cucked.
Glean sent $100. Here's a reward for sitting through that torture for 4 hours.
Thank you very much for the big dono. Thank you, John Glean. Really appreciate it. Wow, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like basically sit through it again to make this video to find all the little clips I need. But yeah, that Amalek guy, he was kind of one of the dumbest guys there, even though I don't think he's low IQ. But what happens when you're super biased is you say dumb things even if you're smart. I don't know why the entropy ones aren't reading. Congrats LP and Corey on the resounding victory over Handsome Jew and fellow white man Adam Green. I don't think they're Jewish personally. I'm not convinced. I've seen like people swear up and down that Handsome Truth has like a great grandfather who's Jewish. Or, even if that's true, it would make him like 8% Jewish or something. It would make him like as Jewish as Jord from the Mess Squad. I'm not real, but anyway, LP had them seething. I hope you go over a few moments today. The video will be really where I go over, like where I play the clips and I make fun of like some of the stupid stuff and that. So that'll really, you'll want to check that out. That'll be on the Hypocrite YouTube channel and probably everywhere else. Wife is pregnant. We lost the first one and are really hoping and praying for a better outcome. It's pretty early, but I still wanted to put it out there this time instead of keeping it to ourselves, asking for prayers. Okay. Prayers. Are you still first trimester? That's the worst part. That's the woods. Yeah, and it was the same with me and Allison, man. We lost our first, and it sucks, dude. It sucks, but it's not that unusual, and so hopefully this one will go better. I'll be praying for you, and congratulations, man. That's very exciting. His loathing of Christianity. I mean, here's the thing: is like I was kind of curious, like, why do these guys focus on this so much? That there's no way that they think that this is as bad as, especially when you show them the data that like atheists are worse on this stuff than Christians. And I'm convinced it's basically clout farming. It's been so long. Like think about this, man. Think about this for a second. TJ Kirk has like 1 million subscribers on you or whatever. How much? No, he has like 250,000 subs on YouTube. Is that what it is? Let me check. Yesterday I went and watched a couple of his old videos, and yeah, he has 1 million subs. Okay, he has 950,000
I say to myself,
subs. This guy. So there's like a market for this thing. And what's funny was I went and like looked at his like oldest videos yesterday. He has this video like the case against Christianity, and it's basically indistinguishable from what big tech was saying on the space. So in my video I'm going to like play big tech say, and then jump to TJ, and then play big tech and jump to TJ Kirk. And that's the kind of like, if you see that, you should, if you like, wow, awesome content, man. You're regurgitating. This video is 18 years old. I don't know if you guys, I have my, sorry, I have my memes up here. This video, the case against Christianity, is 18 years old, and big tech argues in a way that is like indistinguishable from this video. So it's going to be funny when I put that all together. If there's actually one true God who revealed himself in one time and space, wouldn't it be presumptuous to reject him because he was not revealed to yes, man. I mean, I was kind of going to say something like that, but I just never got really asked anything. So I barely spoke. And the couple of times that I did kind of force my way into the conversation, I used that time to try to ask them questions about what they believe, because they clearly don't want to talk about that. So I'm going to try to fix the power channelers. I don't know what's going on here. But the reason I say they clearly don't want to talk about what they believe is because we did say over and over, you guys are atheists. You guys don't believe anything. And when we said that, they would like scoff and get indignant. And say something, you can read minds now? Oh, you're going to tell me what I believe now? And then immediately start talking about how Jesus was Jewish and the Bible was written by Jews. You know what I mean? Immediately back to the script. This is what I mean by like just running a script. If somebody said to me, you are atheist and you're atheist and you don't believe anything, I'd be like, no, I'm a Christian. I believe Jesus died on the cross for my sins and all of our sins. He was resurrected 3 days later. And, you know, everything that goes along with that. But I kept saying to them, like, you guys are atheist. Corey said it. Corey said, you can't take a man's religion and not replace it with something, right? These are all opportunities to be like, oh yeah, no, we know, we have a plan. They don't. They have nothing. They have emptiness. They have nihilism. They have atheism. I did ask Handsome Truth, what do you believe? And he said, I'm like a deist. I think there's like a God out there. And I would have loved to just like ask him like could I just like ask you like 5 more questions to drill down? But you can't, because they just like keep forcing it. It was also, if you weren't there, it was like a 10v1. Okay. They had 10 people there grilling Corey. I'm not exaggerating. The Handsome Truth, Adam Green, Big Tech, Gnostic Informant. There's like a few people whose names I don't know. That one guy with the one avatar. Again, really smart but annoying. He was basically Gnostic Informant 2.0 or whatever. That Full Verity guy came on and did like Julius Evola slam poetry for like 10 minutes. Oh man. And it's like I've shouted out that guy's Twitter account before because I like the way he writes. But there's a funny thing. There's a funny thing where you see people posting tweets and they write in a really cool, you're like, "Oh, this guy's cool. I like him." And then even just hearing their voice for the first time, you're like, "Wait a minute." You know, there's this thing with like anonymity where you're filling in the gaps, and when the truth is revealed, you're like, "Wait a minute, hang on." That kind of happened with that guy Egg Report, or he calls himself like Garfield Lasagna something. What is he? Again, I like this guy's Twitter account. What is it? Lasagna? Oh yeah, I'm not on my Twitter account, so this shit doesn't come up. But anyway, he used to call himself Egg Report, and we had him on Sex Wars, and you can find it under Sex Wars Egg Report on Odyssey. But like really cool tweets and really funny tweets, and then invited him on the show, and he came on the show and just like super meek, not charismatic, not entertaining, not funny. Sometimes you hear people talk after reading them and you're like, ooh. And I mean, I don't think he had a lot of experience with public speaking, which is part of it. Like that's, you know, people get nervous when they're not used to it, and it takes some practice. But I was just kind of thinking that with that Full Verity guy, I was like, the way this guy writes is very cool, but hearing his voice for the first time, it's like the voiceognomy is off. It's not lining up with how I pictured it. Anyway, I saw somebody ask about the Amalek guy. Going back to that real quick. So that guy called me stupid because I said Christians are more racially intolerant than atheists, basically. And he said, you're stupid and ugly. Not on the space, but this is like what led up to the space, right? And so I was like, hey man, can you just explain to me what's stupid about that? And his answer was basically, he took a long time to ramble it out, but basically that I'm straw manning them because they're not atheists, which again, this is the big contention. And I still, after talking to them for 4 fucking hours, I still am not convinced that they're not atheists. Okay. If I gave these guys 4 hours to convince me they're not atheists, if that was and they didn't do it, they did a really bad job. And I mean, look, Handsome Truth being like, well, I think there's a God out there. It's like, yeah, dude, that agnosticism, that's like God tugging on your collar, being like, hey man, look over here. And there's it came up later. Sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent again. I'll come back. But later, I left and I hung out with Allison, and then I couldn't sleep, so I went back and listened some more. And Corey was still there, and they were giving Corey shit about how like the Council of Trent had to like tell people not to cut their own balls off or whatever because people were like becoming eunuchs for Christ, and they thought this was really funny, right? And they're like, oh, Christians were so dumb 2,000 years ago. They were cutting their own balls off. And I heard somebody say like, don't try to take the moral high ground. And I wanted to jump in because Corey didn't say it, but it's like pagans literally did human sacrifices. Not a ton of European, but it did happen. And also what really happened was a ton of animal sacrifices. Like that was common. Very common. And it's this kind of thing where it's like what I would have said to Handsome Truth if I got to ask him a few more questions about his belief. Okay, so like you believe in God, do you believe in like is premarital sex okay? What does your God have to say about that? Homosexuality, because it's one of these things where it's like you can't really make an argument against homosexuality without Christianity that is anything more than like, I just think it's gross. That's like the best you can do without Christianity, basically. And and people say, well, you could, any religion can be against, and like that's true, but Christianity is the OG. That's the point. Homosexuality wasn't illegal in pagan Greece and pagan Rome. Okay, your based ethno states, which Rome wasn't an ethno state either. They let Jews become citizens under paganism. So much of this stuff is like this weird fantasy about how, you know, return to tradition, but the tradition wasn't really what they want it to be to begin with. Right. But so the question is, can you make an argument against homosexuality? And in the same way that these guys don't want to admit that they're atheists because they understand the stigma around being like a nihilistic, empty Reddit atheist. So they deny being atheists. I'm sure they would deny supporting homosexuality. I'm sure they would deny supporting animal sacrifice and humans, much less human sacrifice. And so it's this very funny thing where it's like, how do you know God doesn't like gay people? And if the best answer you have is that it's written on my heart, like my intuition tells me that, it's like, yes, James, I will read your chat, or hopefully the text to speech will work, but no promises there. It's like you're maybe you're just a Christian in denial. Oh, so your morality happens to be Christian. Like, this is the funny thing is the full verity guy, the Julius Evola slam poetry guy, he's the only guy who acts like he has a different morality. Like he has this I'm a beyond good and evil, Nietzsche might makes right type of shit. But I think it's all talk, man. Like, I want to sit across the table from that guy with a dove and a sacrificial dagger, and just like slide the dagger over to him and be like, all right, man, show us you don't have slave morality. Not that killing an animal is that hard, but even if they did do it, they would just be doing it to prove a point. This is why I say they're atheists, right? So there is a natural law argument against homosexuality. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And it's possible some of them could make that argument. I kind of doubt Handsome Truth would. It's not, you have to actually like be able to explain it. You can't just say it's against natural law, but I'll assume you can explain it because you can, but the question is, can you? Anyway, shit, what was I saying? I was about to get to something important. Oh yeah. So they do this atheist smirk thing where they make fun of you for believing in that God could do anything miraculous, right? So Corey says like in the garden there was no death. And then Big Tech is like, so what did sharks eat? And Corey's like, kelp or whatever. And they thought that was so, they're like, oh, this retard thinks sharks were eating kelp. And Corey's like, it was a world we can't comprehend. It was like different laws of physics before the fall, right? But they thought that was like really, really funny. I wanted to jump in, but I didn't want to like step on Corey's toes. But I did want to jump in and be like, what kind of retard thinks that there's sharks in a garden? When the fuck you ever been in a garden and you seen a shark, genius? But I didn't want to step on Corey's toes because Corey likes to like bite those bullets. But it's just like, where in the Bible does it say there was sharks there? Maybe there was. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is they scoff at anything. I said to that full verity guy, He's like, my God would never like demand anything of me. My God would never be jealous, blah, this and that and that. And I said, like, well, that sounds like something you're going to have to take up with the real God on Judgment Day. And again, they all laugh at that, right? The idea that there's any kind of judgment coming is just a big joke to them. And that, so they're because they're atheists, right? They don't believe in anything. And then Corey said, do you guys think fucking Zeus turned into a goat and came down to fuck a 13-year-old boy like it says in Greek or whatever? That's paraphrasing. Something like that happens. I think mostly women, but there is one story about Zeus kidnapping a 13-year-old boy and being a pederast. We didn't have time to cover that part. But Corey says, like, do you believe this shit? Do you believe like Zeus turned into an animal and fucked humans or whatever? And immediately they say, no, those are just stories. So they don't believe it. It's just stories. And here's the thing about that, right? You talk about like dishonoring my ancestors by not like following their gods. But those people believed that shit. It wasn't just stories to them. And the way you know that they believed it is because they did sacrifices. Okay. You don't sacrifice humans as a LARP. You don't kill children like they did in, Neolithic Germany. Is that the right word? Neolithic, Neo-Teuton, whatever, not Teuton, whatever the word is, whatever that time period is. You don't sacrifice children for aesthetic purposes. You know what I mean? They did believe that shit. Neolithic. Okay, thank you, Gabber. Anyway.
Peter sent $3 to Greek, burning a single bone covered and fed on an altar in reverence for the deities, and feasting on the rest of the animal doesn't seem all that different from us saying thanks and giving prayer at the Thanksgiving table.
Well, sure. I don't know that much about it. But they did do human sacrifice too. Hold on. I'm not saying it was common. I'm just saying it happened. Okay, Google. Did the Greeks in ancient pagan Greece do human sacrifices as a ritual? And can you describe one of the known examples or what we know about it?
Some scholars believe the ancient Greeks practiced human sacrifice, particularly in times of crisis, although it was not a common ritual. One possible example is the story of Iphigenia, the daughter of Agamemnon, who was sacrificed to the goddess Artemis to ensure favorable winds for the Greek fleet sailing to Troy. This account is from mythology, and its historical accuracy is debated.
Well, what about okay, Google. Is there archaeological evidence of human sacrifice in ancient Greece? Yeah, I know they did it in Germany and Ireland and Rome for sure, and the UK.
One of the most cited examples is the discovery of a teenage boy's skeleton at a sacrificial altar on Mount Lycaon, a site associated with rituals to Zeus, although the cause of death is not definitively known. Other findings, like butchered human bones,
Anyway, they definitely sacrificed animals. I don't know if it was just a bone. I don't know about that, but regardless, I'm just making the point is, even if they weren't sacrificing anything, they believed in these gods. They prayed to the gods. I don't think these guys who I was talking to on Saturday night pray in any kind of fervent, real way. I don't think they do. I woke up the next morning, Sunday morning, and went to church with my family and worshiped. And there's white people all around. There's nice young white families with nice young white children. Everybody's super friendly. They say hello. They say, how you doing? They say, oh, your kids are so cute. What kind of like a communal worship are the deists engaged in? Well, do you think Handsome Truth has anything like that in his life? You think big tech has anything like that? You think Carlin Borisenko, who, by the way, apparently they respect enough to bring on and ask a question? I was gone by then, but they brought on Carlin, and I was listening.
Peter sent $3 was not trying to disagree with you or discredit you. Just thought it was interesting that we seem to do pseudo pagan shit still today. And the Yuletide law.
Pseudo pagan shit. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not against rituals, and I don't even really care about animals enough to like clutch my pearls about sacrifices. But it's just the point was more that these guys like to say that like the world is cucked because of Christian morality, but they basically have that Christian morality. And if you're gonna tell me that you're against homosexuality because of natural law, like, congratulations, you are not an ancient Greek. They were pretty gay. I know Leather Apron and people like to say actually they weren't that gay, and I was really excited when I first heard that too, because I like the idea that humans have never tolerated homosexuality, or at least white people. But they weren't as gay as we are in secular 2025 Pride Parade America. They weren't as gay as us, but they were much gayer than like 1950s Christian America. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So if you're like, I'm just saying, I think they should bite the bullet if they want to like actually have some like meaningful difference between them and Christian morality. They should just embrace their homosexual nature. They should just embrace their homosexual nature. Homosexuality was outlawed in Sparta. I mean, there's all these city states, and they had different places, different rules. I'll take your word for it that happened. But there was also like a gay brigade. There was like a gay platoon. Hold on. Okay, Google. Tell me about the homosexual army in ancient Greece.
The homosexual army you're referring to is the Sacred Band of Thebes, an elite military unit in ancient Greece. This troop was famously composed of 150 pairs of male lovers, 300 total men, who believed that fighting alongside their partners would inspire greater courage and a more unbreakable bond in battle.
Get away from the Boosie. I'll die before I let you touch my boy's hole. Anyway. Carlin Borisenko has a lot to say against Christianity, but she hasn't called out Islam. The gay. Well, there was like a fucking. Wasn't there like a Netflix show that was like the gay squad? Oh man, Netflix gay cartoon. What was it called? Q Force. Yeah, Fag Force. This is
Everyone,
ancient
go,
Greece.
go,
Right
go!
Me if I was
He's
in
the best
ancient
of the
Greece.
best.
Our 2011 valedictorian, Agent Steve Merriweather.
Now, Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed. I can stand before you as my true self. A gay man!
There was a mistake. We just recrunched it.
Anyway. Shit, I was gonna say something. I lost it again. Anyway, moving on. I think we can move on. Like I said, I'm gonna make a video. Oh, the Amalek thing. I'll come back to you, and then we'll leave it here. And this is gonna be in the video because this is one of my favorite things that happened. But like, after admitting that Christianity is better for white people than atheism, but refusing to explain what he was offering that was better than either things. And this is so annoying because it's like, oh, we have a better thing that has never been tried and there's no data on. But trust us, bros. Anyway, he tried to get me with this idiotic argument where he said, "Hey, did you know that globally, well, white people only make up 20% of Christians?" Right? Like, there's more brown people worshiping Jesus than there are white people. He says this, and I immediately said the world's population is like 8% white. You just made a no capita meme. You just did the no capita meme, genius. I immediately said that to him. And then I looked it up after, and it's actually like about 30% of Christians are white, according to estimates. So he even like skewered the numbers a lot there. But it's like it's literally like that guy saying like, "Oh, well, most inmates in America are white," right? 59% of the prison population in America is white, which I'm pretty sure they include Hispanics in that, so it's kind of bullshit anyways. But putting that aside, do they include Hispanics? Hold on. Let's just check. US prison racial demographics. White adults, 30% of prisoners. Yeah, so the 59% includes Hispanics. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, it didn't. This black guy's like, 59% of prisoners are white. And it's like, it's just the per capita meme. Like, everybody was dunked because that Cory Booker guy retweeted that, and everybody was making fun of him for not understanding per capita. Amalek dude did the same thing. And then beyond that, like, Hinduism is a pagan religion. So what percentage of global pagans do you think are white? It's like there's like 130 Volkish pagans on planet Earth, okay? It's so fringe that there's no data on it. That's how fringe it is. And then that they use that to their advantage because there's no data. They can just pretend like pagan world would be based world and not Q-Force Netflix gay squad world. Anyway, moving on. The video is going to be much better. I'm just kind of scatterbrained right now. Carlin Borisenko, Christianity is the problem. I love how Christians think quoting the Bible. Judaism, feminism, and atheism is the problem. LOL, fuck off, Christ cuck. This is like the level of argumentation you get on Twitter. This is the discourse. LOL, fuck off, Christ cuck. And they let her on. I had left and I was just listening, but they let her on. And she's like, everybody who's been mean to me is Christian. Most fucking female line of argumentation I've ever heard in my life. This is like why women aren't supposed to talk. Everybody who is mean to me is Christian. Therefore, Christianity is bad. Bitch, everyone, you've gone everywhere, has been mean to you. You're the 109 meme. You're the living meme of 109 countries, Carlin. Was a leftist. Was a shit lib. Left because they were all mean to her. That's her origin story. She's like, I was in a knitting group on Facebook and everybody started calling me names, so I left. They were all mean to me. Joins MAGA, grifts off MAGA. People realize she's a crazy bitch. Tell her to fuck off. She's MAGA was mean to me. I'm a libertarian now. I'm going to New Hampshire to be the governor of New Hampshire. Oh, the absolute state of the Libertarian Party. that was like a serious potential thing that Carlin Borisenko could be her candidate. Libertarians got sick of her bullshit, were mean to her, chased her off, became a groiper of all things, sucked up to the groipers. Groipers, I don't even know what happened there. I think they just stopped. I honestly think they just stopped paying attention to her at all. I don't know. But apparently everybody who was ever mean to her was Christian now. That's the new line. Yeah, she was at AFPAC. I actually met her and talked to her, and she's, dude, I try not to be like overly mean, but she is uglier and grosser and more goblin looking in real
Philip
life.
Heisler sent
than you could
$3. It
possibly
seems they
imagine.
fear vulnerability, love and sincerity, hiding behind a shallow aesthetic of ancient false gods, while being nihilistic materials.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really think it's the reason they focus on it so much is because it's just clout chasing, basically. It's just like they've realized that new atheism is so old now that it's out of people's, and they've realized like, oh, people love, midwits love these Christian debates because you get to, it's not that hard to make Christians look silly when you start bringing up things like the flood or not believing in evolution or whatever, right? To the average person, you hear that and you think, oh, these guys are dumb. And then you get to feel smart. And so there's always going to be a market for that. And that's basically all it is. So something that gives me comfort when one thing that Adam Green, that was kind of like, I felt like a fair point or like a hard one to reckon with, is when he said that, like the historians who were around in Rome didn't like record Jesus or whatever. Now, this is not a topic that I'm well versed on, the historical proof for Jesus. But that is the kind of thing when you hear that and you think, okay, if that's true, that's a little weird. Like that seems like a little weird. That's not what you would expect for this guy who seemed to make such a big impression. But something that gives me comfort whenever I struggle with my faith is just knowing how much better the pragmatic outcomes are for Christians. I'm like, even if it is wrong, and I'm not saying it's wrong or I don't believe, I'm just saying it's comforting to know that it's not bad for you. And that's just like a fact. It's not bad for you. I like Adam too. Adam is like by far the most likable person in that group, I think. He's also like he's married with kids. So he's also just kind of the most obviously normal. Maybe some of those other guys are, I don't know, but I know Adam is. And that just knowing that about somebody instantly, like, it's like, oh, you're normal. You have a wife and children. You're a normal man. You're not a terminally online freak. No offense, guys. No offense to anybody who's not married with kids, but knowing that about somebody is just like this instant like litmus thing of like, oh, you can't be that fucked up. At least statistically, you're probably not. Anyway. Somebody said Tacitus in the chat. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Also, Corey kind of said something about them being Masonic. He made like a little joke, and they were all like mad about that. And then somebody posted this video, and I just thought this was kind of funny.
All right, hey, you were gonna be on me like this. Handshake? That's a fucking Masonic handshake. Yeah, that is. When's it going? It's going right now. All right, hit some Romans, hit some different poses and shit.
Masonic.
He's like,
That's a fucking Masonic handshake.
you're doing the Masonic handshake, dummies. I'm not saying this means that they're Masons or anything. I just thought it was funny. The girl praying for Adam Green, it's the same kind of thing. Like I was saying, that I don't think that Amalek guy is stupid, but when you're so biased, you end up saying stupid things, right? And so that Amalek guy doing the per capita meme to try to get me is an example of that. And the perfect example, the most like black and white example I could ever show you, is the guy replying to that tweet of that girl and saying she's mid and brown when she's like obviously pretty and white. You know what I mean? I mean, she could be like quarter Mexican or something like that. It's very hard. The problem is like it's so hard to tell, right? It's like people have to say Nick is Mexican, but they only say that when they hear his last name. Nobody would look at Nick and say, there's look at this brown guy. Same kind of thing. The Amalek guy sounds homoerotic. I don't know. I don't know anything about these people. I calling yourself Amalek is cringe. I know lots of people use pseudonyms and it's something you get used to, but there's just something about that is cringe. That is just like inherent. Like you're a grown ass man. And when I started talking to him, I said, "What do I call you?" You know, expecting him to be like, "Call me Craig" or some shit. Cause he uses his picture in his Twitter profile. So I thought he'd be like, call me Jeff. And he's like, "Call me Amalek." Everyone calls me Amalek. And I was just like, oh, what am I doing with my life right now? What? I need to take a step back and examine the life choices I made that led me into a conversation with a guy who's like, "Call me Amalek." Now, speaking about the emptiness that will bring you to, look at this. 5th abortion. "I'm writing here because I don't have anywhere else to go. I just found out that I'm pregnant for the 5th time in my life. I'm 30. My current partner and I didn't really prevent this from happening, as he's always told me how badly he wants children with me. I don't want to tell him I'm pregnant. I don't think I'm ready for this. I ordered pills online and they're hidden in my drawer. I'm barely 4 weeks, so I'm super early. I have extreme anxiety. I'm currently shaking in the shower. I'm not ready for a child mentally, and I'm also not ready for the trauma of abortion again. I should have been more careful. I don't know what to do. I'm scared and horrified and feel like a monster. I should have been more careful." You know, sometimes I think something that scares me the most is that a woman could murder 5 of her own children. Because imagine the trauma she would have to deal with of going through that. Imagine the pushback against innocent abortionists who only killed 1 child. Oh, we have a brief Blacktivities section here for you guys today.
Yo, it's the Blacktivities. What's the activities? Only the factivities. Catch you lactivities. Cope.
Nashville horror. Muhammad rapes woman to death on church steps in Nashville. This is where Handsome Truth lives, I'm pretty sure, by the way. Oh, last thing I'll say about that, and this is kind of neither here nor there, but on the Rumble stream, this guy, I don't know about these headphones, man. It creates like this weird echo where I sound different and it's annoying me. Anyway, they're new headphones I got. This guy Flood, do you guys know that? I guess he's a streamer. He commented on the Rumble video and he said, let me pull up the comment. Actually, I don't want to. he said that there's like 25 Goyim TV guys who are like all have like legal problems. By the way, look at the downvotes. 14 downvotes from angry atheists who get mad that you have a different belief than them. If you are, I don't know, if you're a man who's downvoting another man's video on Rumble, that's like the most impotent expression of rage I can possibly imagine. Okay, this guy Flood says HT is a liar and 25 of his former friends are in prison or facing incredible legal problems. And then this guy says, really funny to watch you go from ultimate HT ass licker to ultimate hater. You really shouldn't have defended the Jew D-bot. I don't know all this. I don't know what like all this stuff is about. But I guess this guy used to stream on Goyim TV and he got like disillusioned and he left. And then I went and looked at his Rumble channel. Look at what this is an 18-hour stream. Okay, speaking of terminally online, that should not be possible. That shouldn't exist ever. Anyway, unless it's like a charity marathon. But he talked, I watched like an hour and he talks about all these people who are like facing charges, all like so many people and some of them are like speech crimes and shit like that. And it's like, again, I don't know. This isn't meant to be like an indictment of anybody, but it is like, I guess, something to think about if you're ever thinking about joining one of these organizations. I don't think Patriot Front has the same track record as the GDL, but the GDL just seems to have a really bad track record with their members having legal problems. So do with that what you will.
David Attenborough sent $3. No first-hand accounts by Roman historians exist on Jesus. He lived far away from Rome. Tacitus was born in 55 AD and wrote that Jesus was executed by Pilate. Flavius Josephus also wrote about Jesus. Still, the evidence points towards Jesus existing.
HT let a Jew bully him off Goyim TV, and when Flood spoke up about it, HT let a Jew bully Flood. I mean, I don't know the details, but the only person who can let a Jew bully them is the person getting bullied. You know what I mean? But I don't know the details. I don't know what kind of, if we're talking about people getting threatened with losing their jobs and shit like that, then, you know, easy for me to say. Anyway, back to Nashville, HT's stomping grounds. Muhammad 39 was caught in the act of raping an unconscious woman on the sidewalk outside a church. As firefighters pulled up, he was trying to pull her pants back on. They detained him on the spot. Firefighters. So what, was there like a fire? Is that why she was unconscious? The victim, a 34-year-old Nashville woman believed to be homeless, was rushed to Vanderbilt University but died shortly after arrival. Surveillance footage shows the woman barely able to stand, collapsing on the church steps. Muhammad sat beside her, groped her as she tried to push him away, then dragged her to the ground and raped her repeatedly until her body gave out. So just some Substack. Rare. Just some Blacktivity type of stuff for you. Daycare worker in Georgia charged with first-degree child abuse after toddler injured on first day.
This is Clay Weeks. His father, Corey, says this happened on Clay's first day. Bainbridge Public Safety says they were called to...
Looks like a Somali god. I was thinking that too. It's like that meme. How can you tell I'm Somali?
The facility Monday just before 7 p.m. BPS has not released any details about what happened, but says officers were able to watch video surveillance of the incident. Thurston has bonded out of the Decatur County Jail and was ordered to have no contact with anyone under 18 or the Weeks family. This is Clay Weeks.
Look at this. Dude. And you know they're doing this to their own kids too. Like they do it worse to white kids because of the just innate racial animus. So if you like, you know, again, if you were a white parent, you cannot put your kids in a black daycare, a black school. It's child abuse. You are committing child abuse if you entrust your children to people like that. But also, like, they do it to their own kids too, which is part of the it's the exact opposite of what that guy on No Jumper said. That guy on No Jumper was like, well, the reason blacks are thugs is because it's illegal for parents to beat their kids. And it's like, first of all, when has something being illegal ever stopped a black person? And second of all, they are beating their kids. Black people are beating their kids way more, and it has the opposite effect. I'm with Stefan Molyneux on this. It's not beating your kids actually isn't good for them. Monster who got 2.5-year wrist slap for raping a 14-year-old has now been sentenced to 52 years with no parole for killing 15-year-old Gracie Sasso in Illinois. Why is this not working? She was apparently having sex with Timothy Dahl, and when she stopped, he murdered her. Sex offender.
Sex offender is sentenced to 52 years in prison for the murder of a 15-year-old girl. Timothy Dahl pleaded guilty earlier this year to killing Gracie Sasso Cleveland. His sentencing was today. Police say Dahl smothered Gracie with a pillow back in 2023. Her body was later found in a dumpster in DeKalb.
Watching this breaking news from the South.
Bruh. WNBA player turned down a deal that would have quadrupled their pay. Minimum $66K to $250K, maximum $250 to $1 million. A slap in the face. Turned down a deal that would have quadrupled their pay. In a business that loses money, a business that can only exist because it's subsidized by the men.
I think we can focus on our players in the union. We got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face. And I think we really have to put an emphasis on the players that are in our league right now. But I love to see the league growing. I think, you know, adding these teams in Philly and Detroit, like that's how amazing is that the league can grow. But how cool would it also be to have like a little bit expansion on the rosters? Like, let's focus on the teams that have everything set up right now, and maybe focus on the teams also that find excuses continuously to lack investment into their players before we focus on adding more to the grain of people that can't really be sustained.
Kind of want the whole thing to just go bankrupt after they turn down the money. Imagine being offered $250K a year to play women's basketball when you are making $66K and you say no because it's not LeBron money. That is crazy. Nobody gets a quadruple. Nobody gets a 400% raise ever. What are you doing? These are the alleged semi-truck drivers who killed 3 people while making a U-turn at an official use only turn on the Florida Turnpike. I don't know what the deal is with this music. Dude, I almost died because of some shit like this. And it was... I always remember the day because it was the day that I was driving to meet Allison in person for the first time. Like, Allison messaged me. We talked on the phone for like a week. And then I drove to Olympia to meet her. And after I left my house and I was like, I had like just left my house and I was driving on the highway and there was a guy who was hauling a boat with his pickup truck and who decided he was going to do a U-turn on the highway. And I had to like slam on I don't know if he was drunk or he just didn't look or what, but like I was right there and I had to slam on the brakes. And it was one of those things where like 3 less seconds and I would have been dead. Like it was close. I was shook. And I think about that sometimes because it was like, I just about went through like 38 years of suffering and then died right when I was about to find happiness. Right when I was about to find happy. Hey, Allison almost got me killed. That's right. I never thought about it that way. Yeah. Anyway, fuck these people, man. Three people died because of this. Look at him. There he is with his soulless eyes. Look at him at the end, expression bordering on mild inconvenience. He doesn't even have an IQ enough to process what he's just done, let alone to handle the responsibility of driving an 18-wheeled weapon. Then it came out that this guy was in the country illegally, by the way. Something weird about you, Radio Genoa. So Radio Genoa posts this. He says, the India they don't show you, nothing to do with Pakistan and Bangladesh.
India is not always slums and trash and overpopulation. Sometimes it has places like this. You just gotta know where to go. This is so nice, bro. Look, a Nike outlet, an Apple store.
Whoa.
And no trash, no overcrowded, bro. This is the India that they don't show you about, bro. The propaganda and the lies won't.
Wow, a strip mall, just like in America. It's almost like they don't have to come here. Dude, they have Nike stores in India? That's fucking amazing, dude. Whoa. Totally changed my opinion. This is why they don't want me having my Twitter account back. They want you watching Radio Genoa and Libs of TikTok only. The executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate was arrested this week in Las Vegas in child predator ring sting. This guy works directly under Netanyahu, so of course he was allowed to go back to Israel.
Sent $10. I've actually seen Jeets online saying it's the dead people's fault for not stopping fast enough because it took all of 3.83 seconds for them to hit the trailer.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Everyone is like this, but it does seem like the lower IQ you are, sort of also the more inherently like tribal you are, the more you just like get on script and defend the team. Although it's obviously not directly correlated with IQ because even Asians are probably a little bit more tribal in America. Asians in like China and Japan are way more tribal than American whites. But anyway, in America, they're not as tribal as like what am I talking about? Blacks and Jeets, obviously. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Anyway, here's a news reporting on this story where very important story where an Israeli, what would you call it? Not a diplomat, but like an officer, whatever, was released.
8 accused child sex predators are now off of our streets after a major undercover operation. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Sasha Loftus.
And I'm Denise Valdez. So over the past couple of weeks, the Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, working with the FBI and several other Southern Nevada police departments, all worked to make these arrests. 8 News Now reporter Nick Summer joining us live from the newsroom with the story of at least one of those accused. He's a pastor, right, Nick?
Over those 2 weeks, undercover officers and federal agents posed online as children, responding to the same messages and meeting requests that real kids in our community might see. One of the men is 46-year-old Neil Harrison Creasy, a pastor at Redemption Church.
Neil Harrison Creasy appeared in court on August 8th and was booked into the Henderson Detention Center. The next day, he made bail. Investigators say the 46-year-old used a computer to try and lure children for sexual misconduct, which is a felony charge.
Okay, so you have a 46-year-old Christian pastor meeting with Israel's National Cyber Directorate. In Las Vegas,
Mr. Bliss Chilling
where they're trying to fuck kids.
Shout out to LP for making the best daily show to watch while working my office job _carried. Couldn't have asked for more.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really all I wanted, because I used to work in an office and I said it'd be cool if there was more shows to listen to. So you have this Christian pastor, presumably some kind of like, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess Zionist. And this Israeli national cybersecurity guy, and they come to Las Vegas and they try to fuck kids. And then the news only talks about the Christian guy and doesn't mention the Israeli guy at all. Although some might say that the @Israel National Cyber Directorate is that's like a more important part of the story than a pastor. I get it's hypocritical. It's, putting it lightly, it's hypocritical for a pastor to be fucking kids. I get that it's scandalous, but also you have this foreign guy who is high up in the Israeli government, and we're not even going to mention that part.
For the past 5 years, Creasy has rented space inside the Good Samaritan Lutheran Church on West Sahara in Cimarron,
Lutheran bros, I don't feel so good.
Where he operates his religious organization, Redemption Church. However, Lutheran church leaders tell 8 News Now Creasy has no affiliation with the Good Samaritan Church and that he is a renter. Don Seaborg with Redemption Church says they were surprised and hurt by the news and say Creasy is no longer serving in his role.
As soon as he got out of jail, within an hour or two, he contacted all of us by a thread message and basically confessed.
The worst parts of the hypocrisy. Yeah. I think most pedophiles are hypocrites. How's that bit go? He's like, I think most rapists are hypocrites. Yeah, probably the same goes for pedophiles. They're probably most of them are hypocrites. You don't see a lot of people who are like, you know what? I like fucking kids. I know it's not popular to say, but I just like it.
And offered his resignation. So we met with him later that morning or that day. And again, he confessed. And of course, we had to accept his resignation effective immediately.
Of the other 7 arrested, authorities say they were meeting a child when they were actually meeting law enforcement. The undercover operation involved multiple agencies, including the FBI, Homeland Security, Metro, Henderson Police, and North Las Vegas.
This is
$1,000 bail. His first court appearance is September 2nd at Henderson Justice Court. Reporting live in the newsroom, Nick Summer, 8 News Now.
So these agencies are urging parents to have regular conversations with their kids about the dangers of talking to strangers online, and also.
So they don't mention in the report this guy. Our government and media are captured. Not one mention about Tom Alexandrovich. Why did you leave the Israeli official out of the report? Who was I? Oh yeah, Leonardo Joni. She said something that I never really thought about. But now that I like looking at this is like a perfect example. So somebody said like where do you get your news from? Because she does, after her comedy show, she did like a Q&A. We went on Friday and saw Leonardo Joni in Seattle, or technically it was like Tickowich or whatever the fuck that place is called. But anyway, somebody said like, where do you get your news from? And she said, I go on X, but you know where you get the best news from is the comment section of anything. You go to the comments if you want to know the truth about anything. This is like a really good example of that. Why did you leave the Israeli official out of the report? I did meet her. Yeah, briefly. I met her briefly, gave her a hug, said thanks for the tickets because she comped us tickets, and introduced her to Allison. And I said, I just kind of like jokingly said, I'm locked out of my Twitter. I can't get in. And then she offered to try to help me with that. And then that was basically it. She was trying to set up her table to sell t-shirts, so I didn't want to bug her much. And also it was way past our bedtime. It was way past our bedtime. We wanted to get the fuck out of there too. But it was cool. It was cool meeting her.
So our friend Mel, the executive, the village crazy lady who does good work, she says the executive director of Israel's National Cyber Directorate was arrested this week in Las Vegas in a child pedo ring sting. This guy works directly under Netanyahu, so of course he was allowed to go back to Israel, and so she links this stuff. So that's the guy, and here's the story. The Nevada Internet Crimes Against Children joint operations included detectives and agents from the ICAC, Task Force, blah, 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 blah. Those arrested were David Wanacott Yankee and Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, 38. They all face felony charges of luring a child with a...
sent $500 third time's a charm. Thanks for encouraging me to join Mensa.
What? Dude. Yo. Thank you, man. And congrats on joining Mensa. Yeah, Mensa bros stay stacking paper. Damn. 500, that's so real. You're so real for that one. Appreciate it very, very much. Yeah, I love when I kind of I don't bring up the Mensa thing much anymore because the joke got kind of old for me. But when you do bring it up, even as a joke, one of the things people love to say is, this guy thinks he's smart, but he spent $130 to join a club to tell him he's smart or whatever. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, you think you're smart, but you spent $200 joining Mensa or whatever. And it's like, well, you understand that for a smart person, $200 is not like a lot of money. But thank you very much for the big dono. What a great way to start the week. I'm feeling better already.
Computer for SEX, and we're booked into the Henderson Detention Center. So...
and if that was supposed to be $50, I'm really sorry, but no refund. No. I like to joke no refunds, but if anybody actually accidentally sent me too much money, I would work with them to get it sorted out if it was a significant amount.
Let me see if I can go.
Wait, those aren't Muslims. I thought only the Muslims are those things.
So that's him.
Yeah, good thing I didn't rage quit. That's a good point. I have to try to think about that next time the chat. It's always like right at the start of the show when I'm just trying to get going that I'm most susceptible to annoying comments. So next time that happens, I got to be like, remember the time that guy sent you $500. Don't do it, LP.
Executive Director of Israel National Cyber Directorate, building national cyber. So he got caught up in a pedo thing in Las Vegas.
Wow, who saw that coming?
Who saw that coming? Let's see. Here's the story. Las Vegas, an undercover operation in targeting child SEX predators in Las Vegas.
$500.
Yo, thank you, man. Damn. I think I've earned almost enough to pay for my Twitter lawyer letter today. Really appreciate it. Re-examine my anger issues.
Valley over 2 weeks resulted in the arrest of 8 individuals, according to a release from the Las Vegas Metro. And there his name is. Isn't that something? So this first guy, David Wanakut Yankee, treasurer of Imperial Royal Sovereign Court of the Desert. What?
Yeah.
What is that?
That looks like a NGO, actually.
Yeah, right? Southern Nevada Baptist Association.
Oh, look, they're all in on it together, all the different groups.
Lead pastor Neil Creasy.
Yeah.
Baptist sisters. I don't feel so good.
Gender Diverse and Trans Pride Center of the Gender Diverse and Trans Pride. Okay, I don't know what this. Oh, David Wanakut Yankee worked there. The registered agent on file for this company, the Gender Diverse and Trans.
Why is a past? Well, we know why. He's a pedophile and also a Zionist. I was gonna say, why is a pastor hanging out with a fucking groomer? But then I remembered he's a pedophile. David Wanakut Yankee. Wanakut? Is that close enough? Yonk. Who is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy? Is it the pastor?
Pride Center of Southern Nevada. So that's the first guy, David Wanakut Yankee. Also, but they're not mentioning the guy, the big guy. Oh, Pastor Neil H. Creasy.
Okay, so yeah, the pastor is not the transgender guy.
He's been in gospel ministry for 28 years. He has served as a pastor, international missionary, church planter, missionary consultant, conference speaker, and seminary professor around the world.
See, if I was the benevolent dictator of America, these people would get public executions, but the pastors would be like extra painful. If you're a Christian pastor doing this shit, you were gonna get, you're not getting a quick death. You're getting the kind of death that will be burned into people's memories for decades to come.
He holds an MDiv and a PhD from Mid-America Baptist Theological Seminary.
Yeah, and I bet he's a Christian Zionist, Schofield Bible believing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hold it against you either way, Jessica. There's wolves in sheep clothing everywhere you look.
Dispensationalist, heretic, CIA, psyop, scumbag. All that weird evangelical Christianity used to hear about, that is all CIA Christian Zionist bullshit, and it goes back a long way.
U.S. detains worker from Israel's top cyber defense agency for questioning. Prime Minister's office says incident resolved quickly. That was that really ending with a brief questioning of National Cyber Director at Staffer before his release and return to Israel.
It was a
Israel always
misunderstanding.
welcomes pedophiles back to Israel. That's
so this was a misunderstanding, Kurt. That's all this was, right?
Yeah.
Possibly. So the news people who say it's possibly he pulled the diplomatic immunity card.
Oh, I wonder if they did that. I wonder how they got out of this one.
Wow. Briefly detained.
Yeah.
So they have impunity, just like they can slaughter people in Gaza, right, on camera with impunity. They can do whatever they want with the children in America, and their punishment is they get sent back to Israel.
Those Zionist Israelis, and the same reason priests molest kids is the same reason. You're automatically bad and lower than them just for being born. And that's probably why the Pope wears a yarmulke.
Okay. Kurt's on fire today.
I think Jews do think that way. I don't think the priests think that way. I think the priests become priests as cover and access. Same reason they become pedophiles, become like kindergarten teachers and daycare workers, and fucking same reason drag queens read stories to children and not to old sick people at the hospital. It's all because of that. It's just about access and cover.
Yeah.
So that's quite a story.
But the Jews really do think that they're a superior, not even race. Well, but we'll just say race.
I can see why you guys are banned from TikTok.
That's a real. So you can see why we're banned from TikTok. Right?
I've never gone on it.
Yeah,
I've
Boy
never
Scouts.
been.
You've never been.
I do not have TikTok app on my phone. People send me TikTok videos. I can't watch them.
Well, they're trying to.
I can watch Instagram for some reason. I can watch Instagram, and I can watch Facebook videos, but I never go on Instagram, and I almost never go on Facebook.
Oh, Jimmy, I handed in first draft of your part of the script.
Oh,
Your
really?
part in it. I made it it's gonna be pretty funny.
All right, I will dye my hair if needed. I will dye my hair, but I can't. I can't do.
You had plastic surgery.
I can't do any scenes with my shirt off. Can't do that. Right. So I have to have clothes on. Right.
Yeah, you're gonna be dressed like Steve Wynn or
Good.
Larry Ellison.
That's what I want. And I have to have a nice heeled shoe.
You have Cuban heels if you want.
Okay, I do, because I shrunk since my bone disease, so I need all the help I can get. Anything you'd like to say about this, James? About that story I just showed you?
Well, I mean, I think the country. I mean, you don't have to guess. I'll just give it away. The punchline, but the country with the highest proportion of convicted pedophiles is Israel.
Yeah, what is it about Israel? It's like they almost
they convict people. That's what here. The politicians.
No, but they get
Israel,
extradited over there.
Yeah, they get extradited. There's they have the big.
Yeah. They have the highest proportion in terms of relatively
of
to the rest of the
convicted pedos.
Yes.
Well, that's odd. It's almost like eugenics and supremacy leads to all kinds of weird family on family abuse, doesn't it?
But it's true. I've seen those stories about how many pedos are in Israel. Right? It's. Do you know? Do you need to?
I don't know all the numbers.
No, I don't
want to. I don't want to spread misinformation.
I don't want to spread misinformation.
I don't know the numbers. I don't even know if it's just a meme. But have you ever seen that meme where it's like the map? It's like the Google Maps of registered sex offenders in Israel, and the little pins like cover the whole map. I don't know if that's if those are real. If there's real data behind that, but.
Either.
So, but it is the highest number. I don't know exactly what's going on over there, but it is our closest ally, so we should support that.
They are our closest ally.
They're our best friend, James.
Closest ally.
Yeah.
TM.
Yeah.
And would you visit them? You didn't answer that question.
Well, if they gave me a bunch of money, I mean, why not? You know,
Okay.
you know the funny thing I saw. So you know how a bunch of people are going to Israel. The influencers, the MAGA influencers, are going over there, and then one of them, I don't want to call her out, but I will. Emily Saves America. She's, I'm sure, a fine individual, but she was posting on Twitter. She's like, no, I'm paying for this trip myself. And I'm like, what the hell's worse? Is it,
yeah, right?
Is it getting paid to go do propaganda or paying yourself to be propagandized? I don't know what, you got to.
You didn't even get Hasbara money from them?
Like, if you didn't take money to go over there, that's a dumb move because they're paying. I think they've allocated $250 million this year to like do Israeli propaganda because Israel's about to invade Gaza and they're about to restart the war with Iran. So
they're about to restart the war with Iran.
I think they're running low on stuff.
Yeah.
Is why the impression I get, because they dropped off from doing good Hasbara for a while. I think they thought they had it in the bag.
Well, what is good Hasbara at this point? You know,
Well, when I
what
was a
can you
kid,
say?
every Christian I knew believed in a nonsense term called Judeo-Christian values, which makes literally no sense. The correct term is Abrahamic.
Does anybody remember how did Jimmy Dore had like a falling out with the Young Turks? Does anybody remember why? Because it's just funny how everybody's kind of come like not full circle exactly, but just over to like our side, basically. Like Anna, like, man, October 8th is going to go down in history, or October 7th rather, as you know, the turning point for Israel. Like basically where they lost everything kind of started on that day.
Values, but they wanted to kick the muzzies out of it, so they created this spurious term called Judeo-Christian. What are those values? Candace says Christ is king, and then you're fired. Like, what is that? It makes no sense.
So
back then they were better at it.
Yeah, Judeo-Christian values. But if you say Christ is king, we're gonna pay Jordan Peterson to put his name on a report saying that you're an extremist.
Now it's obvious from their awful actions.
Well, if you'd like to hear my jokes about the Epstein and all kinds of pedo stuff, come see me in Rutherford, New Jersey, Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, and Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
I feel like I'd get along with Jimmy Dore. But we're not done yet. Breaking: Trump administration helped Netanyahu's cyber chief after his Las Vegas arrest for child sex crimes. And Kugaya's top girl cut it out of the screenshot. But this story is coming to you from none other than your boy Talcum X, Sean King, on his Substack. Trump administration helped Netanyahu. Cyber chief. Let's see. The arrest they said never happened. 3 days ago, Tom Artyom Alexandrovich, one of Netanyahu's top cyber warfare officials, was arrested in Las Vegas during a 2-week child predator sting run by the FBI.
Westan Chase sent $40 just getting the goal to 4 figures for you. Carry on.
Yo, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the 40. And thank you everybody for the massive support. I'm gonna do a good show tomorrow to make up for it, okay? I'm kind of, like I said, I'm not feeling it today, but we'll come back strong tomorrow. We're rallying. Blah, 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 blah. He was booked into Henderson Detention Center and charged with luring. So he wasn't briefly detained for questioning, according to Sean King, which I have to say, I do not trust Sean King. I think the guy's a pathological liar. So take this with a grain of salt. This isn't the news. But according to Sean King, he was charged with luring a child with a computer for a sex act, a felony that carries up to 20 years in prison. Yesterday, good old Tom was already back in Israel. The bombshell from Las Vegas officers. Sean King says, I have now confirmed with officers involved in the sting that the Trump administration personally intervened at Israel's request to override U.S. law enforcement, including their own federal agents involved in the sting, to make sure that Alexandrovich got back to Israel quickly and safely. The officers told me they couldn't believe it. They had worked for weeks with the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Nevada Internet Crime Against Children Task Force to run this sting. Who is Jeremy? Who is Jeremy? Thank you for the $5 though. That's gotta be a real red pill moment as a cop. Like, it's funny because you got these, Alex what's his name? Sorensen? Who's the guy, the ped catcher on YouTube? Why can't I remember his name right now? This guy who man, these headphones, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts about these headphones. They make such a huge difference. Anyway, these YouTube pedophile catchers, they catch like 3 pedophiles a day. They're just churning it out. Meanwhile, the FBI and the cop, Alex Rosen. What did I say? Sorensen? I don't know what I'm losing it, man. But thank you, Alex Rosen. They spent weeks setting up a sting, doing everything by the book to get these guys, and then you get them, and then the fucking Trump admin is like, let that Jew go. That's gotta, if you're a cop seeing that's gotta be a little bit red pilling for you. They caught Alexandrovich red-handed. They booked him, charged him, and logged him into Henderson County's system like every other suspect. And then, despite the Trump administration itself authorizing the sting, Trump's own team stepped in and blew up their work. They expedited his release and returned to Israel. Israel's official story is crumbling under the weight of the facts. Netanyahu's office and Ynet. What the fuck is Ynet? Detained for questioning. Claimed Alexandrovich was never arrested at all, only briefly questioned before returning to his hotel and flying home. This is a complete fabrication. I directly confirmed with police that he was arrested and charged. The following 3 outlets, including 2 in Israel, confirmed the same thing. The Guardian reported Alexandrovich faces felony charges and confirmed all 8 suspects were brought to jail after their arrests. Jerusalem Post confirmed he was among the 8 men arrested and charged. Times of Israel went further, reporting he was booked at the Henderson Detention Center and that indictments were expected. Officials in Henderson confirmed to me directly Alexandrovich was formally arrested, charged, and still has pending felony charges on the books. This isn't just another criminal case. Alexandrovich is not a nameless suspect. He was the acting head of data and AI for Israel's National Cyber Directorate. The architect of the multi-million-dollar Cyber Dome program, a man who has had access to Israel's deepest cyber secrets and intentional intelligence partnerships. All right. So there you go. Gavin Newsome retweeted this Groyper. This is funny. So this young Putin guy, some of them have started memeing like how Gavin Newsome is like a more like Chad White guy than JD Vance. And so look at this. This has 30 million views. I saw this tweet. I saw this tweet yesterday. It had like 80,000 views. And I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. But so you have, it says Gavin Newsome versus JD Vance in high school. And here you have Gavin Newsome looking like he's like a rich Chad at the country club. The exact aesthetic that these Bronze Age pervert people love to like post on their aesthetics accounts. Like that this is how white people are supposed to look. You have Gavin Newsome. And then you have JD Vance, which this picture cracks me up. I was like, I look at this, I'm like, that guy definitely plays Magic the Gathering, which he does. He plays Magic. So it's so funny. It's like the exact like opposite aesthetics and physiognomy that the Bat people, yeah, Jet Neptune, yeah, for real. And then you have Captive Dreamer. Wow, I love Infinity Third World immigration now. Great point. And then Vance says, A young Putin says Vance has a kid named Vivek. And then this one too is another contrast, right? So here's Gavin Newsome with his family. And then here's JD Vance. And I'm not saying I'm on the Gavin Newsome 2028 train, but this does not look good. You know? Wignap bros, I don't feel so good. MAGA bros, I don't feel so good. Like which way, Western man? Bruh. And then here's the high school picks. There's Gavin Newsome, Chad athlete, and Jet Neptune. You guys didn't know Vance was married to a Jeet? You didn't know that? I thought everybody knew that. I thought we all knew that at this point. And so, but what's funny too is Gavin Newsome quote tweeted this tweet and said, "I miss that scarf." Good times. The Democratic platform is for the white man. The Republican platform is for the Negro and the carpetbagger. Is that a real it feels like this is like a real thing where they replace the images, but maybe not. I don't know. I've never seen it before. They're memeing Gavin Newsome in a way that like all the BAP people in 2016 would have been fully behind this kind of thing, but it's just like it's the wrong guy. It is funny, and it is a testament to that point I've been making, which is that the physiognomy thing is like it's a propaganda tactic that will come back to bite you in the ass at some point. Thank you, Gavin, for all you and your wife have done for the Jewish. Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Vance doesn't like Jews. Moving on. Destiny's Son being a Holocaust-denying Nazi.
And if everyone was a National Socialist, I think we could have a much better world.
But what about the fact that they killed 6 million Jews in the Holocaust, though?
Okay.
This guy's laughing. What the what?
6 million. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say here. 6 million. And are we really running with that? Are we doing that? 6 million?
He is. And somebody made the joke about how he sounds like Walt Jr. from Breaking Bad, which I can't unhear now. Well, I think it behooves me to remind everybody that this kid is like 13 years old or something. This is a child, okay? So just keep that in mind. I almost feel bad even giving it any attention just because of how young he is. But I've said this before. I have a dislike of Destiny that makes me like violate my own normal ethics. The way I would normally treat people goes out the window as soon as Destiny is involved because of how much I dislike him.
What do you mean? What do you mean are we doing that?
Okay. I don't want to get you banned. And if everyone
but he kind of like crashed out on Twitter last night and people were worried he was like sounding suicidal. He said, "The problem is not the internet. The problem is my father. The problem is my mother. The problem is that I had to grow up without one concurrent present father in my life while being berated and yelled at by my mom constantly and always being the target of nonstop shaming. It is not my fucking job to raise myself, but my dad made it my job to learn how to become a man without a father. My mom made it my job to become mentally stronger than she is in spite of her constant belittling. I'm just fucking sick of living the way I am. I hate everyone. I don't have any actual friends, only two. I don't have any plan for my life and I don't care. I just don't care about anything anymore. Sounds like I'm saying it's everyone's fault but mine, because it is everyone's fault but mine. Bad outlook. I do not respect my mother. I do not love my mother. I only live with my mother. There are good times, but every good time I have with her is overshadowed by an even worse time. My father isn't even my father, it feels like. No one took any actual time to raise me. Fuck everyone. And then this guy tweets a lot, but I saw he the next slow fucking bitch that decides to walk in front of me today is getting killed. This guy's gonna lose all of his internet accounts pretty soon, I will predict. He's got the same like troll gene that Destiny has. Cope and see Destiny's Chud's son is getting mad pussy in its prime. I read a Bible last night and it brought me comfort. That's good. What is happening here? At Grok. Is Nathaniel right or nah? What, you're so ugly and look like a Downy. Objectively, Nathaniel doesn't resemble Down syndrome features and appears conventionally attractive. Clear skin, symmetrical face, expressive eyes. The insult seems baseless. You're right. Baseless gospel. Wow, I should ask Grok if I'm good looking. I feel like he would be nice. I feel like he'd be nice about it. And that brings us into the boy crisis of 2025. So this is New York Times. New York Times op-ed acknowledges the most effective solution to boy problem was to build the civic institutions and spaces where men could help boys to navigate their way successfully to a mature pro-social manhood.
Von L. Zoomer Chad sent $3. Reading that tweet made me realize the coaxial cable isn't so bad, TBH.
That's right. The only thing worse than the coaxial cable is no cable at all. Myth Pilot says, once some friends and I were hiking through national forest land to do a weekend of hiking shooting. We were marching with big packs, rifles strapped to the sides. We passed through a Boy Scout camp supervised by their moms, and the kids went bananas. Most of them had probably never seen a gun before. We kept it friendly, smiled, and waved. The fat moms glared at us with a hatred I'll never forget. With girls in the Boy Scouts now, it's probably even worse. Boy Scouts camp supervised by their moms. Fuck. I like this meme. I like this. Why would they be mad? A lot of people have an irrational hatred of guns. Where are the men? Maybe they simply don't want to deal with bitchy women they're not allowed to exclude by law. I'm looking forward to I'm getting towards my civic engagement years, I think, where it's one of those things where like being like a Boy Scout dad or like an assistant basketball coach or something, it's like the kind of shit you do when your son's old enough. That you start with like when he's there. So I look forward to that. I look forward to getting involved in that kind of thing some way. Dean Withers tells groypers to eat shit and then crashes out after getting banned for saying it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move on. He actually left on its own before I even kicked him. Yeah. No, totally. We kick people like that. That's just so crazy to me. Like, we kick people like that. We remove people from the stream like that. Dude, like, literal just like, oh, Hitler. Oh, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I? Bro, fuck you. Eat shit. I get honest.
By the way, that's another thing that Christians are more likely to do than atheists is get involved in community engagement type of shit.
I think that's like the only warranted reaction. Fuck you, eat shit, get off my live. Jillian with the $10 say Nick Fuentes is absolutely a Nazi. Yeah, duh. Fucking obviously. Like what? Like, I don't know. Like, you don't really see people reject that. You know, like in fact, a lot of the groypers will argue he's not good enough of a Nazi. Oh Jesus. Oh, now the groypers found the live. Now there's another one. Check this. I'm gonna give you all the very fair reaction to a groyper. Hey, fuck you, eat shit. There you go. Look at that. That's how you're supposed to react to groypers, chat. That's how you're supposed to do it. Moving on to the next guest coin. Here we go, everyone. Just give us a minute. Welcome into you, Sport Trump. Oh, and we got banned.
You can't do shit on TikTok. That's why I don't stream the show on TikTok. I put my gaming streams on TikTok.
I think I gotta take it away from me because.
And even then, I'm like one spicy power chat from getting banned. Again.
Whoops.
He does look like a child.
Can't do that. I forgot.
This guy
that would be my bad.
He posts like physique posts where he talks about mogging people, but he literally looks like a little girl.
And I did say fuck you, eat shit. Those are words that came out of my mouth. Okay. Oh. Can't even tell a Nazi to eat shit anymore. What? We are living under a fascist regime. TikTok is a fascist regime. You can't even tell Nazis to eat shit.
TikTok does seem like the most censorious platform you can be on right now. Like even Twitch isn't as bad. Try appealing Twitter bans, writing it into your Urdu. Rumor is you get priority support. I don't know about that. All I know is that Joshua Moon got unbanned by saying, I am Indian. Please help me, sir. I am Indian.
Anymore. Oh, brother. Oh, Mr. Trump, we want to stay. Don't ban us. Don't ban us. No, please, Mr. Trump, don't ban us. Oh, I'll take them down for criticizing the Nazis. I will. Oh my God. Dude. Got sniped. Yeah, low-key, I'm not even mad. I was about to get off anyways. And this is a random backup account that I never use. So. Oh my God. I'm just like so desensitized to all these bans. But dude, they're so bad. Holy fuck. I go to war every single day. Let me tell y'all. I'm going to be bald by like 23. Okay. My face is going to be wrinkled like that of a 75-year-old before I have my first child. I should title or retitle these streams Cortisol Maxing. Because that
was a less entertaining crash out than I was hoping for. Low tier gods TikTok got banned for violent extremism after uploading a Nick Fuentes video.
All right, so I'll log in. I post up the Nick Fuentes video, and basically what happened was I checked back.
Yeah, So Dean Withers is trying to act like Trump is making TikTok ban him for criticizing, which I know he's joking when he said, but it's so obviously not the case. Like they just have conduct rules that he violated. But you can't even upload a Nick Fuentes video where he's just like talking politics or whatever. You can't search Nick Fuentes on TikTok. He's search banned on the entire platform. Same with Facebook and Meta, by the way. Although it does seem like they eased off of it on Instagram, like just posting his videos, but it's still sketchy territory.
It only had like 69 views or something like that. I'm like, all right, whatever. I haven't uploaded in a while. Fuck it. So I checked back like hours later and it tells me that the video got removed for violent extremity or something. Here, check this out. So this is the notification I got.
This guy's a big streamer, by the way. I don't know him, but what he has like over 3,000 subs. So that's what is that, like $15,000 a month just in subs income.
When I logged into TikTok, violent extremism, which is, it basically is just a bunch of people mass reported my video, right? There's all types of shit on TikTok. There's bitches twerking asses, all types of shit, right? All types of anything. Fights, all types of stuff on TikTok, right? For some reason, my video, bro, this shit happens to me all over social media. The world could steal my shit. The world could slander me all over social media. Nobody's shit ever got pulled down, right? But my shit always gets pulled down because people, for some reason, they want to steal my shit, use my content, so on and so forth.
I don't actually know anything about him.
When I'm uploading my own shit, it gets removed because there's like a legion of people out there that keep trying to fuck over my social medias because everything's ran by bots. You know, they've tried it on Twitch numerous times back before I was partnered. They've tried it on YouTube multiple times. They've tried it on Instagram before. That shit don't work though because that's more of a free environment, so on and so forth. So
they banned from the river. Yeah, I think, didn't they also search ban Free Palestine at one point?
I got that one for the Nick Fuentes video, but so they basically mass reported hella videos on my shit. All right, so it just wasn't that. So what had happened was when I logged into TikTok today,
he's known for 2D, like Street Fighter. He's a Street Fighter competitor.
It told me that I already had a third strike for the Nick Fuentes video. They said, oh, if you get another strike, your account's going to be permanently banned. So I'd only had 3. But then when I logged back in, they gave me another strike for a video that I had up since June 26th. It was literally an informative video. So that counted as a 4th strike. So they mass reported the Nick Fuentes video. They mass reported the Senna video, which wasn't even, bro, that wasn't even no disrespectful video or anything. It was literally just like me like kind of taking up for, I guess, her people bashing her for wearing a bikini.
Yeah. TikTok's not a real platform. Brandon Tatum on Instagram Live crashes out about Fuentes Groyper's anti-Semitism and white replacement. He's refusing to debate Nick.
Somebody say debate Nick Fuentes. What am I debating with Nick Fuentes? For him to talk about the Frankists and how the Jews are. It's to me, we ain't gonna agree on it. We're not gonna have a real debate because if you're telling me that the Jews, I don't know if he's ever been to Israel. If you're telling me that the Jews run America, we can't, what are we talking about?
Whoa. You know, I never thought about it that way. What are we talking about? Have you even been to Israel?
We can't, that's like saying, let's do math and 2 + 2 is 4, and you say 2 + 2 is 5. How we gonna do math if the foundation of what you're saying ain't even nowhere near the foundation of what I'm saying?
Whoa.
We're not gonna get anywhere.
I never thought about it that way. I said Jews run America, and you said they don't, which is basically like me saying 2 + 2 = 5. Damn.
Not run America. Jews did 9/11. Jews did 9/11.
I don't think we can conclude from the evidence that they did it, but they 100% knew it was happening and let it happen. Jews, at the bare minimum, allowed it to happen. And I think the same is true for October 7th, by the way.
What else are Jews responsible for? Some dummy got online and said Jews responsible for World War I. I mean, this is how people go off the wagon, man. Jews did 9/11 because a couple Jews were cheering. Allegedly, they were cheering. The dancing Israelis were cheering during 9/11. That means Jews did 9/11. I mean, I think America had a lot to do with 9/11, but the Jews did it. You know, like, what else do people blame the Jews for?
Porn.
If you ever went to Israel,
usury,
you'll say, well, that's interesting.
Mass
How do the Jews
immigration,
run America, but they don't really run Israel?
multiculturalism.
The Jews are not in full control of Israel.
White guilt.
I mean,
propaganda in movies.
They're
and
not.
Public schooling.
It's not what people think it is. And people want me to debate Nick Fuentes. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. What is he going to say to me? The Jews run everything. The Jews, the Holocaust, it wasn't really 6 million people. I don't know if
the funny thing about these people all being scared of Nick, and especially Charlie Kirk, is that, like, Dinesh D'Souza already showed you can just debate Nick, and it's not like the end of your. It's not like Nick and Dinesh, their debate, that was like such a nothing burger at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I do think that it's like better content than the Candace Owens kind of like retard drama shit. But Dinesh is just like, you know, like, hey man, I just think you're wrong about this stuff or whatever. And then then they just like fill up 2 hours and nobody cares. Charlie Kirk could just copy that technique and get through it and then just have it done and over with.
Believe that it was anybody, but it wasn't 6 million people. It was 3. 3 million people is still a lot of people. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 million. That's still a ton of people. They got killed. I mean, I saw the videos of what the concentration camp looked like.
The reason Dinesh is the reason his technique was so good is because he went in there good humored. You know what I mean? That's part of the trick. That's part of the trick. You can't go in there like, this guy is evil, so I must destroy him for the good of mankind. If you're setting yourself up for failure, if you have that kind of mentality, you have to go in there as like, this is just a kid with some ideas that are a bit more extreme than me, and I'm going to be nice to him and talk to him for 2 hours.
I mean, if it wasn't 6, it was 5. I've heard people clearly articulate that it was 6, and they showed exactly how it was 6 million people.
It wasn't 6, it was 5. That's called making progress.
If it was 5 million, if it was 4 million, that's still insane. It still was a genocide. And Nick, this is another part that bothers me about Nick Fuentes, is that white man good. White people ain't all good either.
Whoa.
We literally had.
Hey, please don't. Oh no, I think he found an example of a white person doing something bad. I guess I love multiculturalism now, and I don't care about having a national identity.
Good white people fighting against some not so good white people in the Civil War. That's the blood of slavery on their hands.
I mean, yeah, look, hey man, I don't like the North either, but I wouldn't go as far as saying they were bad white people. I just think they were a little misguided.
There's white people today, the worst people outside of violence in the world are white liberals. They are the absolute worst.
I hate this
I say
talking point.
leftists.
We never should have given niggas this talking point. You have to, if you ever hear this, you have to argue against it. A white liberal is still 100 times preferable to whatever this is.
They are the absolute worst people. The most corrupt people in the world are American politicians. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are the most corrupt people in the entire world, I think. We have the most corrupt people. We have the most power. We got 30 some trillion dollars in debt. We are the most corrupt out of anybody. And if somebody were to venture in to say that Israel runs America, that makes America even more corrupt. We talk about the deep state in America,
yeah,
and act like Israel is more corrupt than we are. Like, what are we saying, bro?
Well, yes, you cannot be run by a foreign nation without being corrupt. That's true. You got me there. I don't know if I would go as far as saying that America is more corrupt than like Haiti or South Africa or one of those types of places. But yes, it is corrupt and it is corrupted. True.
Is Hillary Clinton not the one of the most corrupt people in the world? Are we not funding every war, overthrowing every government that there is? And people love to say, Israel talked us into it.
I know. It's like listening to myself when I was like 16. It is really insufferable. And the reason it's so insufferable is because it comes along with a smug attitude of like, haha, I know so. Did you know we went to Iraq for oil? You're like, I'm so smart. Actually, we're there for oil. You have this smug attitude that's totally undeserved.
I like when people talk noise, because it really don't bother me, man. I like it. Look at my lifestyle. Look at the impact I'm able to make.
Where are the governments being overthrown?
We average over 120 million views a month on Instagram. You know, what are we even saying? It's not. I just think the young people are foolish. You know, I wish, and I'll end it with this. I'll end my statement with this. I wish that Nick Fuentes would get saved and be mentored by Charlie Kirk. But the jealousy and hatred that Nick has for Charlie Kirk is why he can't never get to his full potential. He'd rather hate Charlie Kirk than to take something from Charlie Kirk's book and begin to establish something that's sustainable. These little gropers are going around, they racist, they call my wife.
Yeah, he's good on Central Park 5. You know who isn't good on that is Tree of Logic. Tree of Logic thinks that the Central Park 5 are all innocent.
And I'm not saying all of them, but the ones who got on my wife.
And I tried to organize a debate between her and Devin Tracy, but I think Devin didn't want to do it.
Call her a coal burner because she's a traitor to her race. You know
the good content we could have had.
Stupid you got to be like, white people can't marry black people. Somebody said, isn't it wild that 185 people watching you? I don't care, man. I get 1 million. I get 100.
I totally believe interracial marriage should be made illegal again. It's just, you're destroying your national identity when you let people race mix. It's like it makes things so complicated because now you've created like a new race of people who have no home. They have no homeland. You're like a Dr. Frankenstein making look, man, I'm not saying you're a monster if you're mixed race, but I'm saying you don't have a place.
Million views a month on Instagram.
It's it just creates this complication that you can't undo once you've done it.
Because a few people watching a live, I don't care. We get 40 million views on YouTube. I do this for fun. I don't get paid on no live streams. I do this for fun. So if somebody think I care, not really. It's not. It don't really make a difference.
He's sure taking his time with this one for somebody who doesn't care. Somebody was like, "There's only 180 people watching." He's like, really doing the most to prove he doesn't care.
On, it's gonna be low like this. If I bring on some other people, then I think people it'll start piping up. But man, I don't care, man. Another thing is I think people should understand that the internet is the internet and real life is real life.
He's still going.
You know, this internet stuff is cool. I enjoy it. I make a living off of it. I influence the world by it. But I don't let this stuff bother me that people disagree with me. I don't care. You disagree. It's okay to disagree. I disagree with you too. And that's what make America great. You disagree with each other. You know, the comment section don't really matter that much to me, because I don't do this for comment section. I just do it because this is what I feel. And they say, Nick, speak the truth. Yeah. Hitler spoke the truth too.
All right. Fucking based. Well, there's like another 8 minutes there, but I don't think we're going to top that. Yeah, this was in YCSP last night. I was going to touch on it, but it's just this kind of funny clip where the guy's like, I mean, it's actually not that funny if you think about the horrific truth about what this guy's trying to explain. And then the woman is like, what do you mean? You know what? I will play the clip and then I'll just do 2 seconds on it and then we'll call it a day.
You are excited about a world in which lots and lots more babies than is the case right now are born from laboratory fertilization. And
he's talking, I don't even know who this is, some New York Times podcast. I think he's like a well-known dude, but I don't know. Who is this? Ross Douthat. Okay. However you say that. And he's talking to some woman who like runs one of these companies where they're like all children in the future are going to be born through IVF with like gene selection and shit like that.
I'm just curious if you think, you know, allowing that this might be desirable in certain cases, if a world where this became the norm would be losing something that is very fundamental to human beings and human families and human relationships. And that's the relationship between sex and procreation, between you and your husband having sex, apologies, and the future generations that come into being. And I'm going to take the podcaster's privilege, and I apologize for this, but I'm going to read you a piece of a poem. It's by a poet named Galway Kinnell, and the poem is called "After Making Love, We Hear Footsteps." And the idea is sort of contained in the title, that the husband and wife make love, and it wakes up their child, and the child comes and gets in bed with them. And Kinnell writes, "In the half-darkness, we look at each other and smile and touch arms across this little startlingly muscled body, this one whom habit of memory propels to the ground of his making. Sleeper only the mortal sounds can sing awake. This blessing love gives again into our arms." Sorry. Do you worry about removing or diminishing from human experience that aspect of being a husband and a wife in a relationship with a child?
What do you mean?
Kills me every time. So he's talking about the connection between sex and making a child and how that's magical and how the act of having sex is more magical when you appreciate what it can produce. And he's like, you want to disentangle these two things. Are you worried that there's something there, that this ephemeral connection maybe actually has importance, has like great importance to our humanity that you haven't considered? She sits there for like 2 minutes with this smirk on her face, her eyes all slanted like she's stoned. She looks like she just smoked a huge blunt. And then she goes, "What do you mean?" All right, you guys, that's the show for today. I will be doing a gaming stream tonight. Thank you for watching, you guys. Big shout out to our big donors, especially, what was it, Ubermensch? Real Ubermensch? Is that what it was? Hold on. I got it right here. A real Ubermensch. Thank you so much for the mass donos. Thank you, everybody else. You guys have a good day, and I'll be back tomorrow with another show. Catch you on the flip side. Peace out.
I was born in a prison with no hope for escape. I got used to the silence as I stuck in my cage. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. But I could not follow. It was a language I didn't know. I seen a light and it used to blind me. Was it real or just a dream? No, you cannot miss what you have never seen before. Deep inside you know there must be more.